Hello guys and welcome to the second pre-season race here tonight for Liga Europe. It's season 2's pre-season races and we are here at the French Grand Prix. And looking forward to it. You know, we got a nice mixture of guys across all divisions from last season, as you would have seen in the race earlier. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys are going to be able to do. I am your commentator for this evening, Ivor Bryn Mike. You may have seen me in the previous race making a mockery of myself, but you gotta love it. But we are here to see what these guys can do. Let's see who's going to be setting the pace in qualifying and who can get the best lap time. So it will be interesting to see. We got some very quick drivers here. J. Cole, Dan, Bag of Bones, RJW, B. Morgan, as well as others. Now I'm familiar with a few of the guys racing in this pre-season race. Not familiar with everyone though. So if there is a very quick driver out there, let me know in the comments. Who do you think will be in the run for pole position? Well, hopefully in this race we won't get as many lagging out of the lobby issues as we did in the previous race. It was a bit of a nightmare. But let's see what the predictions are saying. If you saw what I did last race, I'm gonna make sure I don't do that again. I was racing in the last race, mate. I was too far at the back to notice what was going on. But on board right now with the Division 3 reigning champion. Will he retain his title? I don't think he will. I think he'll be in a higher division this year. But will he be one of the fastest in this lobby? Time will tell. He is out on the hard compound tyre. And of course, new to the game, the free compounds have actually changed. Last year's game, you would call these the super soft, soft and medium compound tyres. This year, all of the red wall tyres are soft tyres, all of the yellow wall tyres are mediums, and all of the white wall are hards. As have I really got right. I thought this was going to be a hard name to pronounce, but then I just realised that is Dia Agony. Setting the pace with a 22.1, and B. Morgan there with a 22.4 on the hard compound tyres. A very good lap there from B. Morgan. We got Adri crossing the line with a 33.6. Not a bad lap time. He could definitely improve on it if I know Adri, he can definitely improve on that lap time. As Killer Blue goes on provisional pole with a 30.5, a very quick lap on the soft compound tyres. Will we see anyone dip into the 129s? Time will tell as Dan crosses the line with a 34.1. As RJW gets up in the second on a set of mediums with a 31.5. A good lap there from RJW. Heated currently in third on the soft compound tyre with a 32.0. So predictions, who do we think is going to be getting pole position in this pre-season race, and who do we think is going to be winning this pre-season race? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. As we got NGMBJ going up into 7th, we got ILRT Janul. I'm gonna pronounce it Jan Yule, just because that's how I'm reading it. Apologies if I do butcher your name. It's not my intention, but we all know what I'm like with tricky names to pronounce. As we got Bag of Bones now coming through to the second sector split. Be interesting to see how much ERS he does have left. He does have a little bit. As he comes through the final sector. Very easy to invalidate your lap on this circuit. Very easy to pick up a few penalties as well, especially with the pit entry, which it did catch me out earlier, and I think it might catch a few people out. As Bag of Bones goes up into 3rd place, a good lap there from the McLaren driver, as Tigger B right now is coming through the final sector, as Bullet Boy gets disqualified for facing the wrong way on track. Tigger B now DRS wide open. Where's he gonna go? Oh, he's just starting a lap. Either he was starting a lap or yeah, he's starting a lap. Tigger B getting me all excited, thinking he was going to set a lap time, but we're going to stay on board with Tigger B. He goes very wide there. That might have just invalidated his lap time, and yet it has. He has gone down into 0 on the ERS. Just proving what I said about this track being very easy to invalidate your lap, pick up a few track extensions and a few penalties. So right now I'm just going to stay on board with Killer Blue, as he is the man on provisional pole right now. Is RJW closer? No, he's not. So we're going to stay on board with Killer Blue to go through a lap of the Paul Ricard circuit. As he comes through the final sector, getting ready to start his flying lap. Trying to get a good run out the final corner. He does get a pretty decent one as he crosses the line. DRS wide open, and now is a quick blast down into turn 1. Braking, hitting the apex, lovely through turn 1, and turn 2 gets a little bit wide on exit, but that is perfectly fine as he comes through turn 3 and 4. Well, I think it's turn 3 or 4. I haven't actually got the track map open. There are a few kinks that could be considered as corners, but you know me, I will get a track map up in time for the actual race. I just gotta get the computer turned on as he breaks down hard into the chicane at the end of the DRS straight. Lovely done right there. No understeer problems for Killer Blue in that section, because the back end, you can get a bit of understeer and oversteer in that little section. Back end sometimes wants to step away from you, sometimes you're turning in but the car will just continue out wide. Nice balance of both understeer and oversteer in that corner as B Morgan goes up into second with a 31.5 on a set of medium compound tyres. Across the line, and there's an improvement there for Killer Blue, getting up, well, maintaining his pole position right now with a 30.1, 4 tenths almost gained there for Killer Blue. As I just said, guys, I'm going to be bringing up the track map right now, so don't be alarmed. It is something that I had to do before the race, but my computer likes to take ages to load up. That is not how you spell France, Mike. Come on, you know that. Okay, so now we have the track map up, 15 corners, and who is about to start a lap that we can go on board with for a flying lap, now that I actually know the score. As we do have Adrian right now coming through the final sector, gearing up for a fast lap, I do believe. No, he's not. He's coming into the pits. At the moment, Bag of Bones is on a fast lap and Heated is coming into the pits. So we're going to stay on board with Bag of Bones just for the time being to see if this will be any improvement for him. And there is a slight improvement there for Bag of Bones. Gets him up into 5th. Apologies, I did just have a message pop up asking me to invite to a session. Just I think he is actually in the session right now, so we'll see what goes on. I believe he's already in the session. It was Caesar that messaged me. And I believe, yeah, he's on Outlap right now. He's in the session. He's all good. So once again, we'll go back on board with someone who's closer to the end of the lap, the outlap. So we got NGMBJ, who is currently in sector 3. So we're going to see what he can do. as we are going to go on board with him for a flying lap as he now tries to get a good run out the final corner. It's a decent run as he is now on the run down into turn 1, looking for his braking point as he comes through, misses the apex slightly through turn 1, going to compromise him through turn 2, and he gets a little bit wobbly on the exit. On the run now down to turn 3, once again missing the apex. Pressure's on as he goes through turn 4 and turn 5, hitting the apex lovely there, and through the long right-hander of turn 6, through a short left-hander through turn 7. DRS wide open now, full throttle overtake mode on the ERS as he is coming down now to the braking zone of turn 8, trying not to take too much curve as he comes through turn 9 right now, and it's a lovely job there from NG as he comes through the flat out turn 10. Very easy to lose your back end right there as he comes through the long right-hander of turn 11. Short little run now down to turn 12 as he is looking for a late apex, almost hits it as he comes through turn 13 down into 14. Once again looking for a late apex, he does hit it this time as he comes through the final corner of turn 15. Will this be an improvement for him? I do believe it might be. Yes, it is. It gets him up into P10. 7/10 improvement there from NG. As we are now seeing what these guys are doing. If you're not on outlap right now, close to the end, you will be caught out. As is another improvement there from Killer Blue, who extends that gap. However, he has retired from the session and the time graphic has not changed. So was that an invalidation for him? Surely hope not, as Caesar is retiring from the session. He's up into 3rd right now on a set of mediums. A fantastic lap time there from Caesar, as RJW is looking to challenge that pole position. Is he up on his time? Yes, he is, by 1/10 of a second, nearly 2/10 of a second. Is he going to be able to find the remaining time he needs through this final sector? Time will tell, as Sharpalel, I don't know, Sharpalele? Yeah, it's probably Sharpalele, and I gets up in the second with a 30.4, and here comes RJW across the line. What's it gonna be? It is an improvement, but it's not enough to improve his position. He stays in 3rd with IRLRT Januel in 4th, Caesar in 5th on a set of mediums. Also, I should point out that Januel is also on a set of mediums. B Morgan, who is currently on a lap 3/10 up. Is this going to get B Morgan further up the grid? As we got some support saying J Cole for the win. At the moment, J Cole starting all the way down in P11. So unfortunate there for J Cole, a little bit wide for the final corner there for B Morgan, and he's abandoned the lap. So that, I was wondering then what was going on. The AI are crashing cars all over the place. Here he goes. Oh my god, absolutely black flag. Black flag. The AI are lunatics. I think we can all agree. Right, so we got Killer Blue on pole position with a 30.1. We got Sharpalele in 2nd alongside him with a 30.4. Then we got RJW in 3rd. Januel in 4th on a set of mediums. Caesar in 5th on a set of mediums. B Morgan and Dan in 6th and 7th respectively, both on medium compound tyres. Bag of Bones in 8th for the set of softs. Dear Agony in 9th on the set of softs, and Heated in 10th. Also on the set of softs, then we got J. Cole, Adri, and we shall go for the rest now as we're waiting for this to load. It'll be interesting to see what kind of strategies everyone goes for, as the strategies that I had to choose from earlier in the first pre-season race, the hard compound was mandatory from the looks of things. So, are we going to see people doing a 2-stop using a set of hards and going to a set of softs, or maybe softs to a set of hards? You know, I mean, I don't know. Or will we see the 1-stop with the mediums to hards? I think we will for a few of them, as J. Cole starts in 11th, Adri in 12th, NGMBJ in 13th, Tigger B in 14th, and Bullet Boy at the back of the grid. And it'll be interesting now to see what tyres they have all selected. They have selected the medium compound tyres. So this will be interesting right now, because Killer Blue, Sharper Lady, RJW, Bag of Bones, Dear Agony, and Heated, all on the soft compound tyres. Will they be trying to go for that 1-stop? Try to get the hards to the end of the Grand Prix? Will they go for a 2-stop where they have either another set of softs or mediums involved in that strategy? Obviously, those who started on the medium compound tyres will have the 1-stop available to them, a comfortable 1-stop, the mediums to the hard compound tyres. So it'll be interesting to see which strategy will pay dividends in this race. Tyre wear is going to be a factor in whatever strategy these guys go for. However, I do believe that the hard compound is mandatory in this race, as I had to use it in my race and I started outside the top 10. I had free choice of whatever tyre, but all the strategies had the hard compound tyres there, as we are waiting now to go to the 5 red lights for this pre-season race here for League of Europe. Lights out and we are underway, and it's a very good start there from Killer Blue. Meanwhile, Januel has dropped all the way down to 9th. It's a shocking start there from Januel. He's being swamped. As we got some contact, we got some people off. B. Morgan taking the spin, Bag of Bones out as well. And Bullet Boy getting caught up in it as well, though I think he does not have any damage. And B. Morgan going for a bit of an aggressive move there around the outside of Bag of Bones. But what a shocking start there from B. Morgan and Bag of Bones. And J. Cole is now up into 10th. Managed to avoid most of the drama, and Januel, who had a shocking launch off the line, is now trying to get back up into this race, up into 6th he is. Meanwhile, Dan is back up in to 5th place, I believe. I believe he did drop down out of 5th for a short period of time. But Killer Blue has already got that 1 second gap to Sharpalele in 2nd. So Killer Blue doing what he can right now to just build that gap. And Bullet Boy now trying to come through, same as J. Cole in that midfield. But this is going to be heartache for Bagger Bones, who is all the way down at the back of the grid on a set of soft tyres. As Dean Agnew has been overtaken by both J. Cole and Bullet Boy, and Bullet Boy trying to have a little bit of a peek there at J. Cole, trying to unnerve his teammates slightly on the run down to turn 8. Meanwhile, as we go further up the grid, RJW battling with Caesar, and behind them Dan and Januel fighting for 5th place. We got some good fights going on right now as RJW had a little look down the inside. B Morgan trying to make his way back up through the order, getting up into 11th place right now. As we got a yellow flag in sector 3, what's going on there? Bullet Boy has gone off. Was there any contact with him and J. Cole? Did he try and move into turn 11? Not sure, but DRS now activated on this lap. And Killer Blue is well and truly out of danger for the DRS, but Sharpalele on the teetering edge with Caesar in 3rd, and there is a bit of a train behind RJW forming with Dan and Januel very close to each other. As J. Cole gets a 3-second time penalty, the first one of the pre-season race. And Bullet Boy trying to get back up into it. Dan has dropped down into 6th as Januel has got up into 5th. Down the inside, a very aggressive move there. Completely squeezed out the Renault of RJW. No quarter given there from Januel as he went down the inside, very deep down the inside, and completely squeezed out the Renault driver, who is sticking to the back of him, looking for revenge. As Tigger B gets a 3-second time penalty as he goes down the inside. RJW down the inside, looking to force the move as he goes off into the runoff area, and he's retired from the session. I'm guessing he is not too happy with the aggressive move from Januel into turn 8, and possibly the lack of awareness into that corner, which I believe was turn 14. So at the moment, with battles on track, we have Dan just inside DRS of Januel, so we'll see if he can do anything about that. Meanwhile, we got J. Cole getting past Tiggerby to get up into 6th place. So J. Cole has a fantastic start, and Bullet Boy and B Morgan behind, having a bit of a scrap for 8th place. It'll be interesting to get your guys' opinion on what you think was going on there with Janual and RJW? Was it just over aggressiveness from Janual? Or do you think it's good, clean, hard racing? Let me know. The good news is I am not a F1 steward, so I have no power over time penalties or anything like that. As Adri and his teammate Bag of Bones are having a bit of a battle down towards the back end of the grid, but we're sticking up the top end because Tiggerby has stuck with J. Cole very well. So we're going to see if Tiggerby with DRS can get past J. Cole. As we got one vote saying too aggressive. I would have to agree. I do believe that was a bit aggressive on the overtake. I'd also say a little bit aggressive on the defensive work as well. Surely the arrow would have popped up to allow him knowledge that RJW had his wing quite alongside. Well, we do have RJW now in the chat, so maybe he can tell us what actually went on. Was it just a lag issue? Because from where we was looking, it looked very aggressive from Janual's move on you into the hairpin, and my personal opinion, it looked a little bit aggressive, his defensive work on you into turn 14. As we got a spinner, Tiggerby has lost the back end. Oh, heartbreaking there from Tiggerby, as his tyres are going to be absolutely cooking right now. If anyone does have this game, you know what happens once you spin. Spin it on track, the tyres completely go off the cliff in terms of heat. As you can see, Tiggerby is being very cautious of that. So we'll see what happens. Bullet Boy somehow has come through and got up into 5th. We completely missed that as I was looking at the chat. But J. Cole right behind him and B. Morgan right behind J. Cole. So was there any contact between Tiggerby and J. Cole? Because from what I remember, they had a bit of a gap to Bullet Boy and B. Morgan. Meanwhile, we got Janual, who RJW has confirmed is lagging around a bit. He seems alright on my screen, but I'm not down there racing, so we have to take it as it comes. It's Killer Blue into the pits, releasing Caesar, Dan, Janual, Bullet Boy. As Killer Blue comes out on a set of hard compound tyres. He does have the option there, does Killer Blue, to make that second pit stop or try to take these all the way to the end of the race. I believe it is possible to take the hards all the way to the end of the race with minimal difficulty, but it all depends on what he personally thinks his pace is like, as he is struggling on those hards right now. So Killer Blue struggling on the new set of hard compound tyres. As we go back up to the top end of the race with Dan and Janual. Very good. I was going to say very close, but Januel just completely goes straight on at turn 11, just completely straight on into the wall, and that is a bit of a rookie mistake if I do say so myself, as he does have front wing damage right now. Yeah, quite a lot of front wing damage. As he is going very slow for the corner there. NGMB straight into the back of him. Probably lost a little bit more front wing for him as Adri tries to go down the inside into turn 1. He should get the job done. And he has done so beautifully. So at the, oh no, Killer Blue is actually out of the session. He is not in his car. That is unfortunate there for Killer Blue, who I believe has now come back. So maybe he was on pause for 2 seconds. Nope, he's gone. Yep, he has gone from the session. Meanwhile, Dan and Caesar getting very close at the sharp end of the race. Lap 8 of 27. Dan getting very close, but he is going to have a little bit of a difficult time following another car through this final sector. It can be tricky. DRS wide open now for Dan, who I don't think is going to make a move into turn 1. He'll probably wait for the second DRS straight of turn 8 to make his move. So stick behind him through sector 1. Hopefully get a good run off turn 6 and turn 7 to get a lovely launch in onto that back straight. As he does get a better run than Caesar. So here we go, DRS wide open. He should have a look down the inside this time. And here he goes, he pulls out to the inside. And it's a lovely move under braking, though he has gone a little bit deep. That might give Caesar a chance to come back. No, job done there from the Division 3 champion. I will say at this point in the race, the tyres will start to feel very second hand as they start to reach the end of their usable life. For the one stop, around about lap 12 is where people will start peeling off into the pits if they are doing the one stop strategy. As Bullet Boy into the pit, so what tyre is he going on to? It's a set of hard compound tyres. Question is he going straight to the end? He might be. Meanwhile, looking at the grid right now, it's interesting because Killer Blue, I do believe he can get to the end of those tyres if he is back in his car. Which I don't think he is. No, he's not. Killer Blue is not in his car, so I don't think he will be able to get back in and pull off a madness to win the race. Bullet Boy should be fine to get to the end of the race on those hards. It's just a question now of whether he can make some inroads into the guys that he is racing up ahead. Meanwhile, J. Cole, who is 6 seconds off Caesar. Will we see that gap close at any point in this race, as Dan appears to be very good on his tyres, because he has pulled off a great strategy right now. He has looked after his tyres. He hasn't really pushed them too much. He's been keeping it nice and clean, consistent, and now his tyres are, they appear to be in better nick than Caesar's does. As we got J. Cole and B. Morgan into the pits onto a set of hard compound tyres. Will Bullet Boy get past him? Yes, he does. So the undercut working well there for Bullet Boy. And B. Morgan comes out ahead of Bag of Bones, but J. Cole comes out down in 12th place. I have to look at the times, because I do believe J. Cole might have had a 5-second stop go. Looking at that, it does look like he's got a 5-second stop go, as Dear Agony and NGB were going very close to each other into the hairpin, but mistakes were made right there. Dear Agony went straight on, and NGB went for a spin on the curb, so maybe not the best shape for these two guys right now in terms of their tyre wear. Meanwhile, Dan into the pits along with Caesar, as Sharp Lady does take the lead of the Grand Prix for the time being. However, he will be coming into the pits again. As Adri, is he going to get past both of them? He gets past Caesar. And Bullet Boy also gets past Caesar. The undercut working beautifully. And Caesar, interestingly enough, comes out on a set of medium compound tyres. According to the graphics, he's on mediums. According to what I'm seeing right now, it's switching colour between mediums and hards from the looks of it. But we'll go with the graphics right now. He's on a set of medium compound, which is interesting. And Dear Agony closing in on him. Adri is going to have little to no grip left on those tyres, so it should be an easy move there for Caesar to get past him. And it's a lovely move there around the outside of turn 10 there for Caesar, getting up into 4th place. And he is already on the back of Bullet Boy on a softer compounded tyre. However, I don't think Caesar is going to be able to go to the end on them. Well, actually, I know he's not going to be able to go to the end on them, because he does have to make a second pit stop. So Caesar has committed himself to the 2-stop strategy, whereas Dan, Bullet Boy, B. Morgan, J. Cole are going to be comfortably on their 1-stop strategy here. And J. Cole losing a place now to Januel, who has made his second pit stop onto a set of medium compound tyres. Not medium. Now I'm starting to do it. Hard compound tyres. It's white wall tyres. It's the 2018 mind frame, and it keeps coming back into play. But it's one of those things. We'll get the hang of it eventually. But Januel made his second pit stop, and he is... Well, no, he's made one pit stop. Okay. I thought he's made 2. I thought I seen him starting the set of... Oh no, he pitted early, didn't he? Because of the damage, right? Yeah, I remember now. Januel did pit early because he went straight on at turn 11. It is front wing off and pitted onto the hards, right? I remember now. Sorry, Januel, but I remember now. I remember. As J. Cole is all over the back of him. Meanwhile, at the sharp end of the grid, Caesar all over the back of Dan. He has already made light work of Bullet Boy. Down the inside goes Caesar. And it's a lovely move there to get up into second place. And now the work for Caesar has begun because he has to build a monstrous gap to give him a chance of catching up at the end of this race. As NGMB has got a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. That is not what you like to see. So it looks at the moment like J. Cole is struggling just a bit. He's not really cutting for the field as much as I would have thought he would be. As NGMB has retired from the session. I was looking for the yellow flag in Sector 1. I'm guessing that was it. And Dan under a bit of pressure now from Bullet Boy. Both on a set of hard compound tyres. Bullet Boy on 2 lap older hard tyres. We're going to stay on board with this fight to see what's going to happen. Bullet Boy versus Dan for P3 right now, which will essentially be for the race lead when Sharpalele and Caesar make their second pit stops. However, Sharpalele does have a fantastic chance of coming back at these two later in the race, as Januel does get past Bag of Bones for 7th place. But we're going to stick on this one as we got a lovely move down the inside there from Bullet Boy, but a horrible camera angle there from Codemasters. As we are over halfway through this pre-season race with Sharpalele leading the way to Caesar in second place. Bullet Boy just made that move to get up into third, with Dan in fourth, B Morgan in fifth, but Dear Agony closing up on him in sixth place. And then you got Januel in seventh, and J. Cole managed to get past Bag of Bones as well to get into P8 with Bag of Bones in ninth, and then Heated in 10th with Killer Blue, who is still not in his car, in 11th, and Tiggerby and Adri going off circuit there in 12th and 13th, with 2 retirements for today. NGMBJ and RJW. As Agony and Heated both come into the pits. Agony put on a set of medium compound tyres as well as Heated. As Dan appears to be keeping with Bullet Boy fairly well, and Sharpalele has made his second pit stop and has come out in 5th place. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe the hard compound tyre isn't mandatory. It just seemed strange when I was looking through strategies that the hard compound tyre was in every single one. But maybe it's not the mandatory tyre. Because Sharp Lady puts on a set of mediums and is closing up rapidly to B Morgan for 4th place. And here goes Sharp Lady down the inside into turn 1. DRS wide open. And he gets the job done. Fantastic move there from Sharp Lady. Now he can go hunting after Dan and Bullet Boy. 5.5 seconds is the gap. Meanwhile, Dan is still within DRS of Bullet Boy. So, I wonder, is Bullet Boy's not using any ERS? So that's interesting. However, he has used a fair amount of it. Is Dan using Bullet Boy to save up his ERS for the late stage of this race? Maybe. And while it's all the way down at the back of the order, we do have Adri versus Bag of Bones. And this should be a relatively simple overtake now for Bag of Bones, but he does get a bad run out to turn 7. So he's not going to be close enough. As we go back up to the top end, the closest battle on track. The battle for second, Bullet Boy versus Dan, who gets right up the gearbox of Bullet Boy. But Sharp Lady is closing in fast. 3.8. 3.4 is the gap. If the hard compound tyre is the mandatory tyre, it would be interesting. That's Bag of Bones. No, not Bag of Bones, Bullet Boy. What's happened to Bullet Boy? He's gone off. Another fantastic camera angle there from Cody's, as we didn't even see Bullet Boy go off. But that is heartbreaking there for Bullet Boy, as he drops all the way down into 5th place behind B Morgan and Sharp Lady now. So that has freed things up now for Dan. But Sharp Lady very low on ERS. Dan does have an opportunity right now just to kind of build up that ERS, because he is going to need it. As Sharp Lady has closed within 2 seconds of Dan. As Caesar 5 seconds up the road. Sharp Lady, if the hard tyre is not the mandatory tyre, is in prime position to take this race win as Bullet Boy comes into the pits. And this will probably be a set of mediums on till the end. No, he's gone for a set of softs. An interesting call there from Bullet Boy. As he comes out in what will be 8th place, as he did Bag of Bones. But Sharp Lady goes down the inside of Dan for P2. So Sharp Lady now has effectively taken over what will be the race lead once Caesar makes his second pit stop. Can Dan stick with him? Only time will tell. As Bullet Boy on those... Oh, he's gone around again. Bullet Boy, a little bit of contact side by side with Dear Agony, and he spins it. I was going to say, and Bullet Boy down the inside, not surprised with his fresher, softer compound tyre, but that is not going to help his chances at all. Meanwhile, Heated versus Bag of Bones, the closest battle we have on track until Sharpalele closes up to Caesar, and until Bullet Boy gets his tyres back in order to close up to Agony. So we're going to stick on board with this battle for what is 9th place. DRS wide open for Bag of Bones. He's not going to have the overspeed to make the move into turn 1. So he's going to stick behind to get that second bit of DRS on the back straight. Let's have a look at who has the fastest lap at the moment. Sharpalele with 33.6 does have the fastest lap at this moment in time. As it's interesting to see the split in strategies right now between some of the 2-stoppers and 1-stoppers, as we got Heated and Bag of Bones goes for a little bit of a half spin there with contact made in turn 9. Meanwhile, Bullet Boy and J. Cole, the biggest winners so far, gaining multiple positions from their starting place. As we are just going to go a little bit further up the grid, because Bullet Boy once again is getting close to the back of Dia Agony as we are on lap 21 of 27. And Sharpalele is closing down the gap between him and Caesar. Now, this might be a strategic error now for Caesar as we got yellow flag in sector 3. What's going on there? Tiggerbee has lost it. He has spun it. Tiggerbee all the way down in 13th. Not good for Tiggerbee at all. As I was just saying, Caesar may have just dug himself into a hole by pitting onto a set of medium compound tyres instead of the hards, because he does have to make a second pit stop. There is no alternative for him, as Bullet Boy again tries it down the inside of Dia Agony and again loses it and almost goes into the wall. And there goes Caesar into the pits, right on cue. As a set of soft compound tyres goes on the Caesar's car. However, it did show white for us. As I believe there is controversy going on right now with Bullet Boy and Dia Agony. But Sharpalele right now leading this race quite comfortably to Dan in second, who's comfortably ahead of B. Morgan, who is comfortably ahead of Januel. Caesar does have an opportunity to close up, maybe get fourth, potentially. Could try to snag a podium, but we'll see how quickly he can close down that gap. J. Cole comfortably in 6th place. Dia Agony in 7th. Bullet Boy not happy with the side-by-side action that they've had on 2 occasions into turn 8 and 9. As the only battle we have on track right now is between Heated and Bag of Bones for 9th place. As we got a yellow flag in sector 2. What has gone on in sector 2, I wonder? As I believe it's for Adri, who has gone all the way to Belgium right there. as Bag of Bones all over the back of Heated. This will be a big move for Bag of Bones to get just a little bit further up the order. Meanwhile, Caesar is closing up on Janual, who is equally closing up on B Morgan. So the battle for the podium is actually on. We are going to have a little scrap at the end of this race for the final spot on the podium. Will it be Caesar? Will it be Janual? Will it be B Morgan? Let me know in the comments right now. As Dear Agony picks up a 3-second time penalty, which I'm sure Bullet Boy will be happy about that. As Ticker B does get past Adri, who comes into the pits probably for a set of soft tyres, trying to go for fastest lap. So at this moment in time, Sharpalele leading the way, as we might have a move going on now for 9th place. No, we don't. It does hold on. As I was saying, we got Sharpalele leading the way from Dan in second, with B Morgan in third, now under pressure from Janual for that podium spot. Caesar not too far behind on two compound softer tyres and a lot of lap fresher tyres as well. He is going to be rapidly chewing up the time to these two, as there he goes right now. He's in the same broadcast camera shot as Janual. Is he going to try it down the inside? He does move to the inside, so is this going to be a move for the podium? He does get the job done. Janual up into third place, B Morgan into fourth, and he's going to have a angry Mercedes right behind him very soon. As Bullet Boy also, I didn't even notice, Bullet Boy has made a pit stop, and Dear Agony is retired from the race. I was going to say Bullet Boy has made a pit stop and has pitted onto a set of medium compound tyres, and the guy who he was battling with has DNF'd and has left the session. Meanwhile, the battle for third is well and truly on now. Caesar right on the back of B Morgan with the grip advantage, and I was going to say ERS advantage, but he doesn't have that, but he's going to try it down the inside anyway, and he's got the job done. Caesar on those soft compound tyres, putting in the work right now, but is he just outside of DRS? I do believe he is. So Janual might be safe for the time being. Oh no, Janual's off. Janual has lost it and has dropped all the way down into fifth. So Janual losing it on the exit of turn 7. And he has dropped all the way back into fifth place. Although 17 laps on the hard compound tyres, he is doing a fantastic job on them, to be fair. But is that going to bring him under pressure from J. Cole, perhaps? Meanwhile, Heated and Bag of Bones still dueling. And Bag of Bones is running out of laps to make this move, to get this job done. Meanwhile, Caesar now in third and should be clear to take third place home. He is a bit too far back from Dan, but you never know with penalties. Speaking of penalties, Bullet Boy gets a 3-second time penalty. And Januel into the pits. For a 5-second stop-go penalty, a new front wing and a set of soft compound tyres. So this is just a bid for fastest lap now for the last lap of the race. And here we go, Bag of Bones has actually gone for the move on Heated. They're side by side, there's a little bit of contact made between them. And Bag of Bones around the outside, which will turn to the inside for the next corner. But he will not have DRS this time. However, Heated will. Oh, hang on, Heated down the inside. And Bag of Bones will actually have DRS. So Bag of Bones will have DRS. He's got to put it up into overtake. Here he goes. Down the inside. Into turn 10. And Bag of Bones this time should be able to get the job done. As Heated's looking for the better exit. Has he got the better exit? I'm not sure. But Heated is not using any ERS right now. So that could be a mistake there from Heated. Although he has saved up a huge amount to deploy for the final lap. So it is not over yet between these two. Bag of Bones currently in 6th place. But Heated, if he doesn't do that, I was going to say if he can keep with him in the final sector, he should have a good chance, but he goes straight off track and loses a bit of time there to Bag of Bones. And he is outside of DRS. But here he goes now with his ERS absolutely going through the roof. As Adri gets a 3-second time penalty. Looking now at the fastest laps, it looks like Tiggerby at the moment does have fastest lap to his name, but will he maintain it? The time will tell. As we got a yellow flag in sector 2, and here's Bullet Boy. Bullet Boy has gone again. As Sharp Lady crosses the finish line. I'm sorry, Sharp Lady, there was a bit of a battle going on and some incidents, so I didn't get to go on board with you as you crossed the line. Dan will cross the line in 2nd place, with Caesar crossing the line in 3rd place, comfortably ahead of B Morgan, who is comfortably ahead of J Cole. And we got Bag of Bones, who is surely going to come through now for 6th place, unless, well, we know Bag of Bones does have 1 penalty to his name. Does Heated have any penalties? That is going to be the question as we cross the line. Bag of Bones will finish just ahead, but Heated will get that place. As Januel, is he going to get the fastest lap? This is what he wanted. He's run out of ERS. And he does get fastest lap, so good job there from Januel, but all the way down in 8th place. As Bullet Boy crosses in 9th place. As there is your podium right there. The race winner, Sharpalele. 2nd place, Dan. And in 3rd place, Caesar. Well, this was a very, very interesting pre-season race. There are a few talking points that I'm sure would be discussed later on, but this is your results. Sharpalele wins with Dan in 2nd, Caesar in 3rd, B Morgan in 4th. J Cole finishes up in 5th place. Heated in 6th. Bagabone 7th. Janual 8th. 9th we have Bullet Boy. Killer Blue, who lagged out early on in the race, comes home in 10th. Nice ghost car. Tiggerby in 11th. Adri in 12th. Dear Agony DNF'd, but will be classified as 13th. NGMBJ in 14th and RJW in 15th. So 3 retirements from the race and 1 who has left the session. So a very interesting pre-season race. Some good showcases of outright pace and some very good showcases of race pace. So it's going to be interesting as we move on to, I believe we got 2 more pre-season races and then the season starts. So until the next pre-season race, I have been your commentator for this evening, Ivor Bryn Mike, and I shall catch you next week. At least I think next week. I'm not sure. We have the British Grand Prix. If not next week, then the week after. I don't know. But we'll catch you next time for the second pre-season race for Season 2 of League of Europe.